Thank you so much for inviting me for this special day for so many of you. I congratulate you on completion of your 15 years of long, arduous journey. I can see the enthusiasm, I can see the hard work, I can see the commitment that all of you must be having for carrying out this huge journey for last 15 years. My salutation to the journey ma'am, my salutation to the parents who have done this. So instead of getting bogged down by the thing which came to their children, they decided to actually create a group and create an environment where they will be able to help others. So salutation to that kindness, salutation to that human sensibility. I'm honored to actually speak at this forum. I didn't really knew whether I'll be the right person to be called as guest of honor in this August gathering. In fact, I resisted and requested Kirtane sir to not invite me as a guest of honor and rather be a participant in this, for the simple reason that we have just started the journey and we are dreaming really, really big. And it all started because of Dr. Kirtane. So I'm indebted to him. He has been extremely kind, and you all have been extremely kind to me while introducing me. I was talking to Kirtane sir a few weeks back, in fact, and he was telling me about cochlear implant surgeries and the problems that they face during and after the cochlear implant surgeries. And I was just stunned by the fact that the dropout rate is about 50%. And something rang in my head and I started thinking about it. The second person who actually thought about this issue and because of which we talked about this new project, which we call Dreams Unlimited, Connecting the Dots, is my wife, my better half, in fact, who is doing a special course in educating special children. And I'm seeing her doing a lot, and she wanted to do something in this space. Then there is third person, and a really great person, I would say, a kid, a 11-year child named Bushra. She's daughter of my very close friend, our municipal councillor and honorable MLA of Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, Mr. Shri. He is here in this conference. I think Bushra must be hearing us. And there is another friend whom I love and I respect, one Mr. Shubhendra Kanade, who also happens to be our Chief Analytics Officer in BMC. These 4 and 5, including Honorable MLA Shri sir, are the people who actually created this seed of Dreams Unlimited. So I'll be sharing that seed with you, and let us make a huge growing tree out of this seed that I'm talking about. So I'm sharing my screen with you now. I'll start with the presentation. I'm honored to actually do this with you. Next. This is working now. This one. This, most of you are aware that in the hearing loss arena, the day one of the birth and first 3 years are the most critical golden period in the life of that child. And if you could detect that child in the first few days of his life, that could change his life forever. And that detection is shown in green color, and that line below that shows that his life changes for good. And if it is not detected in the time of this slim window of 3 years, then it is red, then it is lost. And it is a loss to the person, that small child, forever, the parents, to the society, and to the country. It's a loss permanent. Then how do you take care of this? And how do you ensure that all these kids who may have some kind of impairment, hearing impairment, are detected? So there are 7 steps to this bright future, and which need to be followed in this slim window of 3 years. Awareness obviously is the most important, and in which we all can do a lot. There is huge scope for doing awareness in various ways, and all of us can contribute there. Then there is obviously the screening and detection, for which the cost is not really much, but somehow it has not been followed well. And there is again a lot that needs to be done at the municipal corporation level, at state government level, and at the central government level. Once you detect the child that he or she is having some kind of impairment, that you need proper counseling and guidance that Dr. Ketan sir was talking about. And then comes the biggest challenge for the parents who do not have the funds, raising the funds. And I'm told that about 7.5 lakh rupees are required to do this, to get this implant and do the surgery. Most importantly, after the surgery, like most of the surgeons are telling us, that they managed to get the funds for surgery. And the post-surgery thing, the therapies that one needs to go to, the continuous follow-up that one has to do, the maintenance of the cochlear implant, which costs around 3.5 lakh rupees, and then continuously per year about 25,000 rupees, almost for lifetime. That seems to be the reason actually for this huge dropout rate, which is about 40 to 50%. And that last thing is our assessment of how well that kid is doing or that person is doing. And what do we do about this? And what all of us can sort of contribute to ensure that dreams of these kids actually become unlimited. All of us have some kind of expertise in one or the other fields, which are listed out here. You can have expertise in creating awareness. You may be a person who is having great messaging skills, experience in media, journalism, marketing, branding. You may be a person from the technology field who will be able to help us with creating some kind of apps, creating artificial intelligence, use of artificial intelligence, machine learning. So there might be people who are great in following up with such children or the parents in terms of giving them telephone calls, in terms of sending them messages, in terms of sharing some contents with them, so that they're aware of what needs to be done. There might be people who are great in terms of creating policies, formulating policies, or people who are able to get policies approved at various levels of governance. We have this 3-tier level of governance. And then obviously are the NGOs who are already working in this space, and they can do a lot to actually take care of most of the things that we are talking about here. And obviously, how to ensure that this happens? And what is this Dreams Unlimited connecting the dots is all about? So we have decided to create an ecosystem, a conducive ecosystem, in which the child is the focus. The child is the focal point of all that is we are discussing here. The mother and the father, obviously, are the most important and integral part of the ecosystem. And Dreams Unlimited is the catalyst, is the entity. And in the earlier session, I was talking about that entity. Now we have decided that it will be a Section 8 company, which will be purely devoting itself to the cause of various diseases which can be tackled, which can be dealt with by following certain steps, by following certain rigor. So we will be actually catalyst for the awareness, for getting proper policies approved at various levels, creating contents. We are very effective in terms of communicating what we want to communicate. We'll be having some data centers where all the data that needs to be collected, that needs to be analyzed, all the follow-up that needs to be done with the parents of the kids who have some kind of issues, all the follow-up that needs to be done with the therapist, with the surgeon. We will make use of the network. We'll make use of the platforms that we will create. Then we will also work on availability of the tools, the implants, availability of the technicians, surgeons, therapists. We will work on the cost of the whole process. We will sort of create innovations in the various things that go in dealing with such impairments or the diseases. And there are huge opportunities in this. We got great CSR funds. We got lots of government policies and government programs from where we can get funds. And the most important and most logical thing to do is take care of the ease of getting all these facilities, ease of getting things done for the parents who are not able to reach the facilities. And how do we do that? What is the architecture of getting these things done? How do we ensure that this happens without a single fault, without a single error, without faltering at all? It will be purely a software-based app or a method of arranging these things together. It will be an aggregation of all the stakeholders together, which you are seeing on this page. In awareness and rigor, we will be involving all the NGOs, like the NGO we can hear, who will help us with the awareness part, because they are the experts. They have seen this for last 15 years. They have the domain knowledge. They have the core competence for doing these things. There'll be people. There are certain NGOs who are great at rigor. They are able to actually use their digital platforms to follow, to ensure that not a single parent loses a single appointment that he's supposed to go for any therapy or any treatment. And there'll be centers where the contents will be created, contents which will reach the right person at the right time without any delay. We will also be working on certain possibilities of remote therapies. COVID, in that sense, has been a boon. It is blessing in disguise in so many ways that we have learned to live without being physically present. So probably a lot can be done in that sphere also. Then, like I said, availability of various components that go into dealing with these diseases, impairments. So that they might be diagnostic tools, they might be technicians, cochlear implants, availability of surgeons, therapists. So all this data will be there on this single platform. And all this will be optimally used. So there'll be no gaps. There'll be no errors in terms of that something is available somewhere and it is not being used. Somewhere it is overburdened. So we'll make sure that it moves seamlessly from one point to another. We'll be working on the affordability of various services, various instruments, various gadgets that are needed. And there is n number of CSR funds who are ready to do this. There are multiple government programs which we can use to actually do this. We have IIT Bombay, IIT Mumbai ready to help us with creating such architecture. They want to help us with such architecture, and we are already in talks with them. There are great people like Dr. Aparna Hegde, who is already sort of working in 3 NGOs called Arman, Kilkari, and M. Mintra, and has a beautiful platform through which she works with almost 19 state governments right now and central government. And is doing wonderful job. And she's overwhelmed and very happy to actually extend her help for the Dreams Unlimited team. And the last thing that I said about is, many parents may not be aware as to how to reach various services, various therapists, various surgeons, various hospitals. And there is where Dreams Unlimited will make sure that they are connected. We'll be closing every single gap that we find today in terms of knowledge, in terms of money, in terms of availability of resources, in terms of facilities that they need to get. And the only concept here is to make sure that no money flows from Dreams Unlimited, a Section 8 company, to the parent or the child, but to the facilitator, but to the service provider. May it be the technician, may it be the surgeon, may it be the hospital, or the Ola, Uber, or taxi person who takes them to the place where they are supposed to attend a therapy or a surgery. Not a single child should go untreated just because his parents are worried about their next meal, that they are worried about how and from where their next meal is going to come. And how can they talk about the treatment, and how can they talk about the 7.5 lakh rupees of surgery and 3.5 lakh rupees of therapies and follow-up. So make sure that that doesn't happen. And we got beautiful infrastructure available. Only thing that probably we'll be doing is connecting those dots, connecting those resources, connecting those beautiful minds and souls that are working in this field. And are we talking about Mumbai only? Absolutely not. We'll be starting with Mumbai because we are based here, because we know Mumbai well, because we officiate certain offices in Mumbai, and we have access to various authorities here. But we will be quickly going to the next level, which is MMR, which is Mumbai Metropolitan Region. Then obviously the state of Maharashtra, and then the country. And the most important thing, which I would like to share with you, that are we only again talking about the hearing loss, the cochlear implant? Again, there I would clarify that Dreams Unlimited is not only about that, but it is the starting point. And thanks to Dr. Kirtane that actually he sowed this seed of Dreams Unlimited, that we are indebted to him, that it will start with hearing. Next would be vision, where huge work needs to be done. Then there are special kids with ADHD, autism, dyslexia, and some other problems that we face. We'll be creating a network of these schools. We'll be creating a mechanism to make those facilities available to each of the kids who is facing these kind of problems. We can immediately go to the TB. We can immediately go to the malnutrition, because many a times malnutrition is the reason that you will have these kind of complications. And once you are putting all this data on a platform, that we will be able to analyze this data well, we'll be able to present this to the government and tell them as to what are the interventions that are needed, where they are needed, when they are needed, and then you will see how we deliver. Then probably why and how government and general public and the contributors to this would believe us. What will be the method of doing that? There are only two things we need to be sure about, and we assure you all that we will be fixing deliverables for ourselves. The team Dreams Unlimited, that like in cochlear implant thing, hearing loss thing, we have seen a dropout rate of 40 to 50%. Once we start functioning, we'll ensure that within 1 year, and this is a promise, within 1 year, we will be able to reduce the dropout rate almost by 50%. So it should go down to 25%. And probably in 1 more year, by another 10%. We are fixing milestones for ourselves. We are doing lots of deliberations, discussing with various stakeholders, experts, people who are involved in this work already, like in this case, we can learning from their failures, learning from their achievements and successes, learning from all the hard work they have done, and avoiding the reinventing of the wheels. So with that, ma'am and sirs, I finish my presentation, and I wish you all a very successful journey ahead. And we will be there for all of you. We will be talking to you henceforth also. And take us as your partners. Take us as your loved ones. And teach us your experiences. Give us your learnings from last 15 years. And let us all create that Dreams Unlimited for all our children who deserve it as any other kid. So let's connect the dots. Thank you so much.